If you love food and you're always on the lookout for new and exciting places to dine, then welcome to this week's Dining Fable. Today I'm really excited to be going to the newly opened Plough and Shiplake to give you just a glimpse of all the hard work and innovation that goes into creating their delicious dishes. So what was on the menu? Well, we're starting off with a delectable cheese and ham croquette, a perfect balance of creamy cheese and savoury ham, crispy on the outside and melting on the middle. Next, we're diving into the depths of flavour with scorched sea trout, a dish that will tantalise your taste buds with its smoky and delicate taste. But we're not done yet. We're also going to be indulging in the gamey and succulent British pheasant, served with a side of barbecue leeks that's going to leave you craving more. So, will we be able to manage dessert after all that? Watch to the end to find out. Dining Fables is here to tell you the stories of the chefs, the venue and the food that make these places so special. So sit back, relax and join us as we take you on a culinary adventure. Let's eat out. Croquettes are, in my opinion, one of the best comfort foods around. And for me, cheese and ham is usually the king. But before you start thinking that this is just your average, run-of-the-mill croquette, let me tell you it's not. It's a croquetti triumph. It's like a warm hug in the form of a deep-fried cube of deliciousness. The ham hock is ridiculously meaty and incredibly tender, so it just melts and falls apart in your mouth, which is just perfect for a croquette. The taste of the ham hock with the gooey cheese has a perfect balance of salty, smoky and sweet, making this an irresistible combination. But wait, it gets even better, as Kieran, the head chef, also allowed me to try a chicken version that wasn't on the menu yet. It was a bit like they put all the flavours of a Sunday roast into one bite-sized slab of heaven. But as much as I loved the chicken croquette, I think it was the ham hock and cheese that takes the win. But I can imagine either of these croquettes would work brilliantly as a bar snack, pairing perfectly with a local beer or two, of which they've got many. The crispiness of the croquettes in contrast to the coldness of the beer, and the flavours complementing each other beautifully. Not only that, the saltiness of the croquettes would also help enhance the flavours of the beer, making it a brilliant pairing. Right, onto the sea trout, and wow, what a beautiful plate of food. I think this would undoubtedly be in the top 3 best looking plates of food I've had on this channel so far. Just look at the trout, it pops off the plate. What's the best looking plate of food you've had recently? Let me know in the comments below. So this is the scorched sea trout, part cooked in the sous vide and then scorched with a super hot flame. The result is simply amazing. It's soft, succulent, but with a hint of char that works brilliantly on the trout. In fact, it reminds me a little of the Japanese cooking style of aburi, which literally translated means flame-seared. Now, I've had salmon aburi a few times in good sushi restaurants, where the addition of flame to raw fish really takes it somewhere new and exciting, and this is no different. In fact, you can click on the card above to see my dining favourite from Miyazaki and Maidenhead, and see what I thought. Now, trout is certainly a less popular dish than salmon, but for me it's superior in flavour. So if you've never tried it, you should definitely give it a go. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Oh, this is just so good. But I have to admit, when I saw grape on the description for this dish, my heart did sink a little, as I'm always a little bit wary of fruit and protein together. But I needn't have worried, as Kieran clearly knows what he's doing. The grapes add a wonderful pop of moisture and flavour when eaten with the trout. It's great, and the turnip adds texture and an earthy note to the dish, which further serves to enhance an already brilliant dish that's right up my street. But for me, the real star of this dish is something I've not even mentioned yet. And amazingly, it's the trout skin. Now, I'm sure for many of you, the thought of fish skin is pretty off-putting, but do bear with me. If you're a fan of crackling with your roast pork, then try and imagine the best pork crackling you've ever had. Well, this for me is even better. It's just so crispy, with a massive salty kick of umami flavour. I could just eat a bag of these given half a chance. I just had to ask Kieran how this was made. So what they do is they take the skin off and steam it till it's cooked, then dehydrate it at 60 degrees for 6 hours, and then once it's fried it puffs up like a quaver and is just unbelievable. What I love about this dish is not only does it look unbelievable, taste amazing, but it's using a fish that is so underutilised. If you love salmon but are worried about fish farming, then this could be the next best thing for you. It's sustainably caught and tagged in small numbers and has a very short season when it's available. So unlike other fish, salmon, I'm still looking at you, sea trout is not overfished. It makes it a great option for those who are conscious about the impact their food choices has on the environment, with absolutely no sacrifice in taste. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen so far. If it's making you hungry, it would be amazing if you could like this video or subscribe to the channel. Grab a fork and get involved. Okay, so on to the main, and today it's the Berkshire pheasant. If pheasant is a type of meat that you've not tried before, then it's absolutely time for a rethink, especially if, like me, you're lucky enough to give this one a try. This pheasant was sourced locally, and it's the real deal. I'm talking top-notch quality. And it was actually a surprise to me that the pheasant works so well with the hoisin sauce because of its complementary flavours and the balance of sweetness and saltiness. So if you've not tried pheasant before, it's got a rich gamey flavour that can be a bit strong for some people, but the hoisin sauce really helps to balance that out, and I'm absolutely loving this. Hoisin is a sweet and savoury sauce that is made with soybeans, garlic and spices, and it's this sweetness of the sauce that helps to cut through the rich and gamey flavour of the pheasant, while the spices and garlic add depth and complexity to the dish. Additionally, the sauce works well with the crispy skin of the pheasant and helps to enhance the flavours of the meat. Another reason why the pheasant and hoisin work so well together could well be because they have a similar origin. Pheasant is a traditional game bird that is popular in many Asian countries, including China, where hoisin sauce is a common ingredient. This combination of flavours and textures is a winning combination that's been enjoyed for centuries. I would also say that the hoisin sauce is a great match for the sweet corn puree which you can find underneath the pheasant. It's a wonderfully smooth and silky puree that provides a nice contrast to the rich flavours of the pheasant and the meat jus. One element of this dish that was not only a complete surprise, but a delicious and inventive addition was the sweet corn chard with sesame seeds. I know, I'd never heard of it either, but apparently it's made as a byproduct from the sweet corn puree. So once the sweet corn has been passed to go into the puree, they get all the pulp and the kernels, spread it out into a thin layer and dehydrate it, and add some sesame seeds. It's just so unbelievably crispy and has zero food waste, which is even better. So just like the fish skin from the trout dish, it's one of the best things on the plate. They've managed to take something that would get wasted in many restaurants and turn it into something delicious. It's absolutely amazing. Now, the blackened charred leeks with crumbled blue cheese, which turned out to be a Colton Bassett blue cheese, is a unique and delicious side dish that adds a smoky and tangy flavour to the meal. The leeks are first perfectly cooked and then blackened and charred on a high heat. This process gives the leeks a rich and smoky flavour that provides a great contrast to the pheasant. The blue cheese is then crumbled over the top of the leeks, providing a tangy and creamy element to the dish. For those of you who've seen some of my videos before, you'll know how much I like blue cheese, so this dish was an absolute winner. It also has the benefit of adding some really nice texture to the dish, making it much more interesting to eat. And leeks already have a natural sweetness that pairs well with the strong and sharp taste of blue cheese. So if you're looking for a delicious and unique side dish that combines sweet and smoky flavours with a tangy and creamy touch, give this one a go. Okay, it's confession time. I think I might have got a little bit carried away with all the other courses, and I've not actually left enough room for the dessert. But the owner Jill and Kieran both insisted that I try dessert inspired by Jill's Canadian upbringing. Now for the life of me, unfortunately I cannot remember what this is called, but it's the richest, sweetest, most decadent sundae you can imagine. Just look at this thing. I'm afraid I actually cannot manage more than a couple of bites, but what I did eat was awesome. It would appear that my famous lack of a sweet tooth, combined with all the other courses, means that I'm going to have to bow out of this one gracefully. But you know what, if you can manage more culinary discipline than I did, it is delicious. So this sundae is a heavenly blend of ice cream, delicious toppings and a rich sauce that creates the perfect balance of flavours and textures, leaving your taste buds definitely wanting more. So, what's my takeaway from the Plough and Ship Lake? Well, I think it will come as no surprise if you've made it all the way through this video that I thought it was amazing. And even more so because they only opened in December 2022, just a few weeks before I dined there. The job that Jill and the team have done in such a short time frame is truly impressive. I actually managed to speak to a number of the locals while I was at the Plough, and they seemed genuinely pleased with what the pub had now become. It's a pub that provides an incredibly warm welcome for locals who might just want a drink and maybe a cheeky bar snack, or for those like me who came from further afield specifically for the wonderful sit-down dining experience. And from chatting with Jill, I know there are lots of exciting things in the works. From seasonal menu changes, theme nights and much more, I for one would be happy to travel to be part of any of it. Thank you so much for watching all the way through to the end of this dining fable from the Plough and Ship Lake. I'd love to know if it inspires you to visit, and if so, let me know what you thought in the comments below. Are you looking for an amazing restaurant this weekend, or over the coming months? Then why not watch the restaurant playlist coming up now? We're trying really hard to build our community here on YouTube, so if you like what we're doing, grab a fork and get involved. And if you feel like subscribing, even better, we'd love to have you join us here at the Dining Fable for next time.